Don't know what it is to try too hard to wipe away your scars. Wanting union makes you wanna go far. Wanting to do right seems so wrong. All I got is a song. Whether at AGC or the studio, I create all day long. God gave me gifts, so I spent my gifts, stack my chips. Boy, that nonsense, fuck your judgment. Either sink or swim, stand at a feet in.
Charlotte is known for many things. The banking industry, for instance. The two greatest teams, Carolina Panthers, Charlotte Hornets. But something that Charlotte isn't known for is hip-hop community. We here at Purell Plus Productions and Cameo Associates know Charlotte is on the verge of being a hip-hop powerhouse. Yeah, that's right, I said it. Charlotte is on the verge of being a hip-hop powerhouse. Similar to those of New York, California, and another southern city, Atlanta. The city is filled with hundreds of talented artists, stretching from producers, b-boys, b-girls, poets, rappers, neo-soul sisters, and the list just keeps on coming. Each of these influences growing the community, hip-hop oriented movements, and groups that exist within the community. It's a wrap.
Charlotte has a reputation for being a melting pot. Nearly half the city's population moved here from out of state, which is such a massive part of the population come from every corner of the United States, every corner of the world, comes a wide mix of influences. Each individual, each family brings with a unique outlook, a unique influence, and a unique impact of the Charlotte community, helping to shape and grow the hip-hop industry.
There's a chapter of the Universal Zulu Nation right here in Charlotte. They're called the Cosmic Union Zulus. The Universal Zulu Nation was founded by one of the three gods of hip-hop, Afrika Bambaataa.
Eyes always open, always seeing. You know, the eyebrows, the mouth always open, speaking against injustice. The nose, the diamond, dropping jewels, jewels of knowledge. The three dots on either side representing universal mathematics and the symmetry of all things and the symmetry of the universe. Zulu Nation is really about it's about facts and science. You know, it's a community organization that started in the 70s because it was an extremely violent climate in the Bronx, and people were trying to express themselves, and people were doing something different, and sort of the same social conditions that existed in the Bronx at this time, the urban neglect, the hostile zoning policies, and everything that made it basically economically oppressive for certain groups of people. We still see many of those themes across urban America, and thus there's still a purpose for Zulu. There's still need and room for Zulu, and it's wonderful that the foundation of hip-hop can be active in this way and still give people the things they need to get out and express themselves in a safe and positive way. And that's what
he used the 4 elements of hip-hop to act as a positive influence on the culture.
Well, I think they're all influencing the community all the time. You know, there's so many little pockets of effort. I tend to have like this bias towards like this general true school hip-hop scene in Charlotte, and that's sort of what I'm talking about when I talk about hip-hop in Charlotte. But there are lots of pockets of people that are doing things that are hip-hop in Charlotte that may not necessarily be part of that like wider movement. And there's just things happening all the time. There's some program called Ketchum's Kids where kids are filling out graffiti coloring books and learning about that culture. There's stuff where, you know, These Hands Academy, where, you know, this guy Claude, you know, a friend of ours, is teaching kids DJing, and he has like a whole DJ school for young kids. B-boying, you know, we got Tron and Leah bouncing between 2 schools, and they got whole competing schools of children B-boys now. Like, it's massive. There was a time when MCing really had a larger cultural grip on what hip-hop is considered, you know, to be in the city. There's a really long, vibrant history of open mics. Eric Brayman, Monday Night Mike Fights, from Fat City to the Spot to the Hungry Duck, even before I was here, 15 years ago. That basically ended about a year ago. Monday Night Mike Fights shut down. Shouts to Vinny Nuck and Wisdom for keeping it going for a little while. They got some other things happening now. Check them out. But really, I think that's something that's in the midst. It's kind of like waiting. Like it's sort of like boiling over there. Everybody's still doing their work and, producing or putting out albums or doing whatever they do. But I think there's going to be another watering hole soon of some kind. There sort of has to be. It's sort of like an energy that builds, and then someone like does something, creates a little open mic or creates something. So right now I feel like that one's kind of biding its time, and it will rise again.
Of course, the Cosmic Union Zulus are not the only positive influence in the Charlotte community of hip-hop, but the hip-hop industry as a whole. There are several different hip-hop oriented, artist-inspired movements that exist in Charlotte, such as Cult Rap and New Charlotte, which promote hip-hop music with substance.
I actually took it upon myself to I'm gonna call a meeting with all of the artists from this city, Charlotte, North Carolina, big, small, up and coming. It don't matter. We're all gonna sit down and discuss and devise a plan as to what we need to do to really shed the spotlight on our city. I'm doing all I can, but I'm only one man. And there's only so much I can do as an individual, but I feel like it's strength in numbers if we all come together and just, make a leap. Like, we can make leaps and bounds together, so it'll be crazy. And that's just what I'm going to bring everybody together to talk about, because it's a new day and age. A new rap scene is emerging in Charlotte, North Carolina. Fresh new talent. So New Charlotte, that's what that's all about. Cult rap is just music that's from the heart, music that's based off of substance. Music that just don't glorify all of the nonsense. I mean, we still talk about it, but we talk about the ups and downs, the good and bad that come with it. I feel like people just glorify the negativity like there's no consequence. And cult rap, we just always in a conscious state of mind with whatever we do and whatever we say.
A popular example of mainstream hip-hop would be Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole. The movements also promote artist unity in order to move hip-hop forward, both in Charlotte and beyond. They push the Charlotte hip-hop community in a positive direction and bring Charlotte some much-deserved national attention.
Up like Chewbacca, got dressed like a roster, free all of my partners. This one for Sosa and Gio, I got you. Bentley was happening, Latona was cracking. Dub, TG, Daru, what it do? Down, I see you, lay back and be cool. I'm fucking this hoe and she wet as a pool. I'm feeding her dick and you buying her food. Shopping and robbing and shopping, break bread with my niggas, you know how we rockin'. Hitting
Nigga go crazy on yappers, run with them choppers, cooking up beef with that China. I'm a young nigga who's solid, max on that shotter. WTG, that's on my mama. Show me a check or show me respect. Either way you go, I'm coming for
probably in high school, just, playing around lunchroom. You know what I'm saying? Me and a couple partners between classes, just after you finish your work, write a couple lines down so when you get in the hallway, you can say it back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So just really just playing around high school. Yeah, definitely. It was probably about 2000. You know what I'm saying? I kind of needed to clear mind, change the scenery, changing things. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of moved from the south side of town, which I'm originally from, to the north side. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like about a 30-minute drive. And I knew that was going to kind of keep me in a little bit because I wasn't so close to my side of town, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't really know nobody on the north side. So I just sat down, focused, man, and I just felt like I had a story to tell that people could relate to on an everyday basis.
One of the four elements of hip-hop that the Cosmic Unions teach and encourage in Charlotte is MCing. The key to being an MC is be able to write as well as freestyle rap. Most rappers will start with writing a hook and then the verses, which consists of 16 bars. And for the most part, one line on page equals one bar. There are many successful rappers, lyricists in Charlotte underground. Each slowly climbing their way to the top. Each MC in Charlotte contributes massively to the growth of the hip-hop industry, as well as playing a role in the community. through the movements they start and what they're rapping about.
My uncle's in the industry, and he always used to tell me, like, you know, just know that hip hop is gonna keep moving and keep shifting. And I think right now, man, hip hop is shifting now because of all the things that's been going on around the world and stuff. So it's definitely shifting and definitely becoming more of a statement. Like, people starting to notice things that's going around the world, like bad things happening, you know, cops killing people and all the politics and stuff, and they're starting to take it seriously and put it in their music.
There are so many talented MCs that call Charlotte home. And with all the hip-hop oriented movements, it makes it hard to believe that the city has not burst until the national hip-hop scene in a blaze of musical glory. The Queen City MCs each contribute to the growth of the hip-hop industry, but bring to the game a unique style of writing and delivery and sound.
I love it because you got all kinds of different movements and different kind of artists, and everybody just doing different things to make one big solid industry. And I really like that. It's a bunch of different artists.
I think it's beautiful, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a lot of people that, you know, came up in the golden ages and shit, they don't appreciate it, but things are supposed to evolve, man. Like, you know, shit is supposed to evolve. I think it's dope now is because, you know, if I want that LA West Coast vibe, there's a lane for that, I can go listen to that. If I want to go listen to some Chirac shit, there's a lane for that, I can go listen to that. If I want to go listen to some East Coast boom bap, there's a lane for that, I can go listen to that. If I want to go listen to some down south trap shit, which I do a lot, there's a lane for that, I can go listen to that. So I just like the fact that everybody's just like doing the thing, and it's not just like a whole bunch of, you know, people in a melting pot, you know, all over each other's back doing the same fucking thing.
Charlotte MCs, while bringing more attention to the growing industry, also play a very important role in the community. Although in an indirect way, some MCs may be involved with the Cosmic Union Zulus. Other MCs write about Charlotte itself and what it's like to grow up in the Queen City's rough side. This brings to their attention the conditions lower income individuals and families can be subject to, as well as the insight into the individual's past struggles, some of which can include drugs and gang culture. However, Queen City's MCs, the Nero Farrar and Duro the King's movements, Cult Rap and New Charlotte, and we, the generation, move hip-hop in a positive direction.
Yeah. Because, I mean, all it takes is just coming together, man. I mean, talent is talent. You can display it anywhere and it's going to be what it is. You know what I'm saying? We just learn to unify. Man, North Carolina will have like an impact on the rap game, period. Just with the sound we got and just because we've never really like been like bust open like that, North Carolina, period. Like, you know, we got your J. Cole's and he did it on the mainstream level, but it takes more than him. You know what I'm saying? We need more people to, like, when we come together, it's just different. It's just these egos, put these egos aside. If niggas around just realize that, you know, really nobody has really made it. I mean, you haven't made it until you can really, like, impact lives. And people in North Carolina, like the rap scene in Charlotte, really, it's like they'll get to a certain level, like a local success or a local popularity and feel like they already made it. And really, like, you haven't even gained the world yet. So it's like, we got to put these egos aside and we really got to come together. That's all it's about, is unifying. Once we do that, I promise you, we're going to be the realest.
I'm still working, you know what I'm saying? It's still progressing. And filling that void to me is just opening up the doors to the Carolinas. That's the void to me that I think need to be filled, you know what I'm saying? That's more my concern, you know what I'm saying? Opening up the doors for where I'm from, you know what I'm saying? So that's the void I would like to fill in the industry, yeah.
Artists create other artists. Cool DJ Herb opened the door for Coke La Rock. Grandmaster Flash opened the door for Melly Mel, Creole, and Cowboy. Africa Bambaataa expanded upon Kool Herc's style, and in the process created the Zulus, a group more interested in art and music than street violence. And it's because of those three DJs that DJing is an integral part of hip-hop, music and hip-hop culture. In fact, men consider DJing to be the most essential part of the genre. It's safe to say that were not for the pioneers of the industry owning their craft in the 1960s, the hip-hop we know and love today may never existed at all. DJing techniques were passed down by hip-hop legends, industry titans like Africa Bambaataa, Kool DJ Herc, and Grandmaster Flash. These techniques were so influential that they were still being used in modern hip-hop today. Some of the techniques employed by the greats were backspinning, or repeating a short segment of the song by spinning the record back a few seconds. Clock theory, or reading the record like a clock to find a specific section of the song, and scratching, or shift the needle in the groove.
Yeah, like scratching, I mean, there's like beat juggling where like you take two, you have both songs, you have the same song on both records and you're like switching back and forth between them, keeping the same part going. And then there's like, I'm trying to learn some of the breakdown stuff where you can like actually break it down into different phrases in that sample and manipulate it a little more. That's a little harder, but it takes a lot more practice. It's kind of stuff like Rob Swift and Rock Raider and all the guys in the Executioners and some of the other bigger DJs do.
Of course, modern DJing has a few more tricks up the sleeve, such as sophisticated beat machines.
This baby right here. This is my baby, Akai MPC Renaissance. I just got this recently. Before I had this, I had the MPC Studio, the little portable drum machine. But as far as hardware, that's what I use.
DJing plays a role in the community stage as well. With these hands, Sprite DJ Academy strives to teach community youth the art of DJing, as well as imparting practical life skills.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of our biggest things is conflict resolution. You know, I really believe in adding those things into the DJing. You know, you have to know how to handle yourself when you're going out here, because everybody doesn't have to like your music. They don't have to like what you play, you know, and they're not going to all the time. So you have to know how to handle yourself. You know, you have to know how to handle yourself if you're a hip hop DJ and somebody wants you to play for a wedding. You're not gonna go wearing a fat gold chain, you know, saggy pants, whatever. You know, so we teach them, you know, media training, you know, how to speak to people correctly, you know, things of that nature that's going to help them outside of just DJing, you know. And then in DJing as well, you know, there's science, technology, math, you know, all of those things in DJing. So, you know, counting bars, you know, knowing your BPMs, cutting it in half. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a 130 BPM, we'll go with a 65 BPM, you know. So there's a lot of things that people don't really think about in DJing that really play a big part in you know, kind of like everyday life.
Kool DJ Herc was known to dope parties at his club, the Havana. The party goes from start to dance, focusing on crazy footwork and off-the-wall dance moves. And just like that, breakdance was born. Kool Herc was impressed and coined the term B-boy to describe them. Breaking, also known as B-boy, it's a type of dance that is closely associated with hip-hop music. For B-boys and B-girls, there's a specific formula to break it.
We'll get a question. So as far as like technique, breakdancing is like any other dance that comes out. It has its own technique to several things. There's not like one trick I can tell anyone and be like, they'll be like, oh, I got it. You know, I mean, there's a formula. You could say like, okay, so top rock comes first, then a basic set. Top rock will come first. Top rock's everything standing up. Then your go down, which is your transition and how you get to the ground. Then footwork, which is everything we do on the ground where people make fun of us and say that we're sweeping up the floor. Yeah, that's the footwork we do. Or power, which is the spins, the windmills, the head spins, the whatever kind of spins you got. And then the exclamation point to it is always the freeze. So how you hit your pose at the end, like not just like the or the but like, you know, the complicated handstand freezes and like the, you know, crazy twists and bends to your body. So that's really the only technique I can really give anyone. But as far as breakdancing as a whole, there's technique to everything. Just like in ballet, they have to go to the bar, and you have to practice that for hours and hours to get the proper posture, to get the proper alignment, to make sure your chin isn't poking out like this, and you're standing straight up. But in breaking, it has its own technique, like how to stand. We don't want to stand like ballerinas. We want to, boom, go forward, because it came as a fight originally. So that's where we started. So boom, that aggressive. You want to look like a b-boy, not like a ballerina. The flat-footed thing. There's so many little things.
Breakdance does its own part for the community outreach. Two well-known Charlotte organizations, Nocturnal and the Underground.
Yeah, I started the Underground because I worked in events for 25 years. There was no place for people to rent that was a good price for people. Not people like me. People with no money, artists. So that's why I started it. It's you want to think of it as a grassroots artist colony, so to speak. It's everything art, everything from visual art to performing art, whatever your art is.
Both hold weekly ciphers. Ciphers are events where B-boys and B-girls come together to showcase their talents. Many schools specializing in breakdance have cropped up in the Queen City, where local breakdance can reach the craft to new generations. These same local breakdancers organize competitions, such as the Carolina Classic and the South End Soul Battle.
Myself and Dragon Muffin, we make our contributions to the community by, teaching kids how to break, holding b-boy events where we feature like canned food drives for the community. Last event we featured a b-boy event, kid battles, and a canned food drive, and we raised 173 pounds of canned foods for the community.
We've had raw food or vegan cooking workshops where people can learn how to have a healthier diet without spending a ton of money. Healthier for your body, healthier for the planet also. Other ways we've reached out is by having canned food drives, clothing and blanket drives during the winter, maybe like toy drives like during the holidays, and then continuing to do like food drives throughout the year, because sometimes those donations drop off, after the cold months, but we want to keep giving back throughout the year.
Breaking by its own nature brings attention to the hip-hop industry. While being its own separate and growing industry, breakdancers tirelessly formulate new ways to own their skills, talking the core elements of breaking and refining them, turning them into something new and fresh.
The entire hip-hop mentality came into being in the days of clubs like the Avalo and the Black Door. These places served as great melting pots, a shared space where MCs, DJs, breakdancers, graffiti artists, and more spend time around like-minded people. Graffiti artists in particular gain much from frequenting the clubs, allowing the creation of new, bold styles to help individual artists stand out.
Graffiti as an object has been around as long as man has. Graffiti rose into prevalence in the 60s and 70s in the hip-hop industry. While graffiti may be considered vandalism, artists have found different ways to preserve their craft, such as designs on t-shirts, or even in the business world, a graphic design. Having these artists available with their unique style benefits the Charlotte hip-hop community as a whole, and hip-hop as a whole. Artists can use this to promote their own material. These unique styles are passed down from artist to artist, each adding their own unique touch.
No, I am an artist. I will paint on everything. I've even painted cars. So I love to paint. I love arts and crafts. I built stage sets and props. I'm an artist, like a visual artist. More so a lot of tagging than graffiti, yeah. Nothing. I had this little, I guess my little bunny, and my initials. I was in school at the time, so I was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So it's, my little tag is a lot of places that it shouldn't be. Even at the school I went to.
Charlotte's a unique city. City full of diversity. It's a melting pot filled with individuals coming from around the world with different perspectives on things, techniques, bringing their own unique touch. That works in the hip-hop industry's favor. Knowing that, it's not hard to know why the Queen City is on the verge of being a hip-hop industry game changer.
Because if you take it back to how it started, it was a lot of political rap, and it was people telling their stories, and there was a lot of unity. Then you had NWA come out, and they bring their same exact thing, except the only difference with theirs is that they have a more violent story. And then you got the corporations pop up, your Def Jams and all these other record labels pop up, these corporations. Then everybody likes action. That's why you have action movies and been going on forever. Because everybody likes that, so they started to run with that. So you have these artists who have no creative control. And we as a people know they have no creative control, but you gotta think about what that means. That means they don't have control over what they write. They're pretty much writing to an agenda. And so that agenda has been pushed for, what, 20 years?
I mean, the three, as my brother Tizzy related to everyone, the three is basically that person that drives you, that you wake up in the morning, you think about, you go to sleep at night, you thinking about like, yo, I can't let this person down. Like, when I face this person, I told them I failed, I can only imagine that faces that they're gonna give me, you know what I'm saying? And my three, I think it's my mom's. You know, my mom did a lot for me growing up, you know, that anybody's mother would do for them. But it's on a personal level. You know, my mom had me at a young age, so we got to grow up together. And that also happens to be someone who influenced me with hip hop a lot in the early years. And so, like, every day I see my mom get up and go get it. And so she inspires me to get up and go get it for my kids and everything.
A lot of my music is based off film, if that makes sense at all. Because I went to school for film, that was my major. So like, I'm a movie buff. I watch tons of movies like all day. So like, a lot of my music will be thematically a movie scene. Like, I'll like have a scene in my head or a feeling that a scene will give me, and I'll like recreate that in sound. And so like, it could be anything. It could be happy, it could be sad, it could be crazy, weird, it just depends. But a lot of times I would say my sound is probably more experimental. I like to put stuff together that's not supposed to fit. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I would say it works one time and it doesn't, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like there's a lot of people that produce. There's definitely enough studios to go to. I guess the main thing is bringing back arts and more of a buzz for Charlotte music, because when you really think of music close by, most people go to Atlanta. So I mean, I think there's a boom right now as far as good musicians getting out and getting exposure. I think Charlotte in the next 5 years has the potential to I guess has the potential to have a lot more artists come out of here and try to bring other artists up with them.